This might be a surprise. Most commonly, it's called a
What?
What?
Oh,
that's so interesting.
That is interesting.
Hello! Hi, I'm Christina from USA.
Hi, I'm Grace and I'm from Australia.
Hi, I'm Jo from Singapore.
I am Zeno from South Africa.
Different, I think. There's gonna be some different words.
Definitely
For sure.
British
words.
English and American English.
I'm scared.
In the US, we say trunk.
In Australia, we call this a boot.
Yeah, same. In Singapore, we call it boot as well.
Yeah, in South Africa we call it the boot as well.
The boot you wear on your feet!
Is this like a British English?
Yeah, British
Okay,
English.
okay.
In the US, apartment complex.
In Australia, I think they're interchangeable. But apartment, flat, or unit.
In Singapore, we call it HDB flat.
Happy birthday.
Like HDB stands for Housing Development Board in Singapore. So yeah, it's government-built flats. Usually we just call it HDB or HDB flat.
In South Africa we say flats.
Yeah, the US we never hear flat. It's always apartment. Yeah, never flats. So in the US we say fries or French fries.
In Australia, chips.
In Singapore, we say fries.
Oh.
Yes, like fries or French fries.
Okay.
In South Africa we say chips.
Chips.
Okay. In the US, cell phone.
In Australia, I think it depends on the generation. My generation, I would just call it a phone.
In Singapore, we call it handphone.
Handphone.
Like handphone.
What's a foot phone then?
Hello.
In South Africa we say phone as well. Or cell. Some people say cell
Cell,
too.
huh?
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, okay.
Cell.
I would say in the US, where I'm from, trash can.
In Australia, we call it a bin. Short for rubbish bin.
In
Bin.
Singapore, we call it rubbish bin as well.
Same in South Africa. Bin.
Bin.
Bin. I feel so separated, guys.
Trash can.
Trash can.
We're winning.
Do you guys call like trash or garbage?
Trash.
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 Do you say
Yeah, we
garbage?
say rubbish.
Garbage.
Oh, really?
Rubbish, garbage, trash. Honestly everything.
Everything, yeah. Everything.
In the US, pants, but also the type of pants is khakis.
Oh.
Oh.
In Australia, pants. Usually just pants or shorts.
In Singapore, we call it pants as well.
In South Africa as well, just pants. But those are chinos.
No.
I think I've heard that before.
I remember some countries say trousers. Yeah, who says that?
Probably UK.
UK says
Yeah.
In the US, we would say cookies or chocolate chip cookies.
In Australia, it's the same. We call these cookies or chocolate chip cookies.
Singapore, we also call it cookies.
In South Africa, cookies. I thought maybe some people call it biscuits.
In the US, we would say fitting room. I usually see the signs that say fitting room.
In Australia, I would call this change room.
Change.
No changing, just change.
In Singapore, we call it changing rooms. But if you go to like shopping malls, I think they have like fitting rooms. But when we say
Yeah.
it, it's like changing rooms.
In South Africa, fitting rooms.
I think the changing rooms is like if you are at a studio, maybe like you work in the entertainment industry. I
Or
think
the
they would call that
celebrities.
changing rooms because you're changing your outfit for the show.
Yeah. Changing rooms could also be for us at the pool. Or
That
at the beach.
too, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. In the US, Tic Tac Toe.
In Australia, noughts and crosses.
Nuts and crosses.
Noughts and crosses. Knots. Like,
Knots.
But it's not knots, it's like noughts.
In Singapore, we call it Tic Tac Toe as well.
In South Africa, we do use Tic Tac Toe, but I think O's and X's.
Ah. That's very straightforward.
O's and X's.
In the US, gas station.
In Australia, we call this servo.
In Singapore, we call it petrol station. Yeah, some like say petrol kiosk.
Kiosk?
Yeah, but I think most of us say petrol station.
In South Africa, we do petrol station as well, but most commonly, it's called a garage.
What?
It's, first of all, something to do with your car, so it's just one
I guess
of the
that.
reasons.
Oh,
That's so
That is
interesting.
interesting. In the US, tank top.
In Australia, we would call this singlet, but there is another word for it which is inappropriate. We call it a wife beater.
Yeah,
Why?
same.
Wife beater?
I was like wondering if I should say that.
Why?
Yeah.
I think it's a stereotype.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's a
Yeah.
stereotype, like someone who
it's
is
my first time hearing that.
uncultured and abusive to their spouse.
Same in the US.
Yeah.
In Singapore, we call it singlet as well.
This might be a surprise, but in South Africa we call it a vessie.
Vessie?
Vessie.
Like a
It's a
vest.
vest.
That's so cool.
That's cool, yeah.
In the US, we would just call this pepper or bell pepper.
In Australia, we call this capsicum.
In Singapore, we call it capsicum as well.
Oh,
Some might go red bell pepper, but most people would usually say capsicum.
In South Africa we call it a red pepper, but it depends on the color of it. It could be a
like
green,
green
pepper as well.
pepper.
And it was getting fun.
There's a lot, like more than I thought. The garage.
South Africa was really bringing out some
Yeah.
really interesting. I'm surprised how similar Singapore and Australia was with like capsicum
Yeah.
and those sorts of words.
So today we went through some differences between words, pronunciations of different words.
So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please remember to like, subscribe, and press that notification bell, and we'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.